Hi there, David here from daviddumaisaudio.com, and in this video I'll be showing you how you can create your own sci-fi gun reload sound effect. So in the video I'm going to show you the 3 different layers that I used to create the reload sound effect. I'm also going to show you some different sound examples and then how I put it all together in the end to create the final product. Alright, but before we jump in, if you are new here, like I said before, my name is David and I'm a video game sound designer, and if you are also a sound designer and you would like to learn how to create better sound effects, I have a little gift for you. It is my 5 layering techniques guide. This is my 5 layering technique guide that I put together of 5 different layering techniques that I've learned and I use and I've seen other professional sound designers use to create sound effects. So if you want to learn about them, I'll put a link in the description or right below the video where you can grab it for free. All right, let's get into our project. All right, so like I said at the beginning of the video, what I'd like to do is show you 3 different layers that I use for creating this sci-fi gun sound effects and then how I assembled it together. But before we actually jump into it, I want to show you the final product so you have an idea of what we'll be creating in the video and what you can hopefully expect to create yourself if you follow along with what I'm showing you here. So here are some of the examples that I have. All right, so just a different kind of sci-fi reload sound effects for whatever kind of gun you might be creating. So let's jump into how I actually created these and the concept behind them. So like I said, there's 3 different layers. One is the mechanical layer, one is like a robotic glitch layer, and then the other one is a power up, like a riser kind of layer. So let me show you each one of those, how I created them, and then we'll go back into Soundweaver and then show you how I put it together. All right, so the first thing that I did for the mech layer is I recorded a whole bunch of different mechanical sounds. And if you want to see how I did it, I actually made a specific video about it, and I'll link it up in the cards above so you can see it, because I'm not going to go into like all the details of like what I recorded and stuff like that in this video. If you want to see that, I'll like I said, I'll put it in the cards above so you can have a look. But what I did is I recorded some mechanical sounds, some different items around my house. So stuff like there was like vacuum parts and like measuring tape and stuff like that. So what I did is I took all those recordings, I put them into here, and then I'll show you kind of what I have. So I'm going to take off all the processing first, because these are the raw recordings and what they sound like. So here we go. Right, so this is what I'm getting here, and then if I just scroll through to different samples. Right, so you can hear it's very raw, very organic sounds. So what I did is a few things. So the first thing I did is add subsynth, and this I only used to increase the stereo width here, and you can see it's set to 160. And let's hear it now. I'm actually going to see if I can find a good sound here that we can work with. So let's play with this one. Okay, so let's turn this off. Right, so it just makes the sound a little bit wider, so it's a bit more interesting to listen to. Next, I added a disperser here. This adds a bit more frequency to the sound, especially it emphasizes some of the lower frequencies down here below 221. You can't really hear it right now. I think it helps a little bit when I put this on. So this is Spectre by Waves Factory, and I kind of boosted it, so adding some saturation here around 100, 118 exactly. Okay, and next I added some distortion. This is going to bring up the volume quite a bit. Right, and that really brought out a lot of the characteristics of the sounds that I'm looking for. Puts it a lot more in your face. And now, if I go and scan through the files. Right, they're a lot more interesting, especially if I take off the width here. Still okay, but with this, it just makes it more interesting. And now with these settings here, I can just randomize all my sounds here in S layer, and I can get a lot of cool mechanical sounds. right? And as soon as I had some that I liked, what I did is I would just come down here and just record them in place. So I might go here, something like this. Perfect. Put it down here. And now it's all ready for me to prepare and set up so that I can just export it. And that's what I did with all of these. So if we listen to some of these, you'll see what they sound like. Right, so a whole bunch of these different kind of mechanical sounds, and this was one of the layers that I'm going to be using for the final layers, is these mechanical sounds. Great, so once I had that set up, I just exported a whole bunch of these. So I had like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30, 40, maybe even more, because I mixed them up with the raws, like my raw recordings versions of these. So I had a lot of these going. So next what I did is I wanted to have some sort of robotic sounds, some sort of glitchy sound to have more of that sci-fi feel for the reload. So that's what I'm doing here. So in here, these are my sampling sound design files. If you're not sure how I create these, I'll put a link up above so you know how to create these, because I actually made a video about this, so you can check it out if you are interested in knowing how I create these. So this I created with Tactic by Glitch Machine, and imported some of my own sound files and created this long file here. And these are the kinds of results I'm getting on here. And as you'll see here, I don't have any effects or anything on it. I'm just playing it as is. So here we go. And there's a few settings that I like to tweak whenever I'm playing through these. One is the release here, so it sounds a bit more natural. So I usually put it up around 125 to 150. Right, and these are already really good, or they're sounds that I really like in terms of like glitchy robotic sounds. Like I could easily layer that with a mech sound to create some cool like sci-fi reload sound. So what I would do here is just go through the file. And just export a whole bunch of these. So if there's a little section I like that, I might just go in here again and just record it, and then it's easy to export. Right, so what I did is I created a whole bunch of these different files, exported a whole bunch of different sections. Right, and then once I had a whole bunch of them, then I was ready with this second layer. It's done. Also, just a quick tip here is that you can reverse the file so that you get even more out of your sounds here. Especially for like gun style. Like that can sound really cool. So I might even record that. Right, so again, created a whole bunch of these, put them all into a folder, and then I had this second layer ready. So finally, I had my last layer here, and these are just risers. I wanted to create some sort of a rise element, so it sounds like the gun is reloading. It's also just a very common thing for sci-fi guns, right, to have some sort of riser. So these are the different kinds of layers I created here. So let's go through some examples. Let's have a listen. Right, so a lot of these I created with, again, these long files. And what I would do is I would put it on loop, and then I choose a really small section so that it loops in that section so that until it becomes tonal, and then I can just pitch up the sound from this little tonal section, and that's how I would create these risers. And then, of course, I can just add whatever other effects on here just to make the sound a bit more interesting. But that's how I created a whole bunch of these risers. There's also, like, I didn't mention, but there's also, like, some UI sounds, and some of them are just, like, taken from these, like, long sample files here, where I can just go into here, and let's say if I can just replicate it here. So I would have something like this. Take off the loop. So something like this, where I just have like little clicks and pops and stuff like that. Like I can use that as a like a sci-fi element to add extra textures or extra like beeps and clicks to the sound if I wanted to. So with that said, now I had all of my elements in place. I exported all of them into a folder. I had multiple folders of these sounds, and then what I could do is I can just go into something like Soundweaver here. This is my software of choice to put these together, and then I just import the files into the 3 separate layers, and this is what it looks like. So if I just play through some of these, so let's see if I can recreate a new one here. So what I would do is I try to offset every sound a little bit. So each group. So if you see here, this group here, this bottom group, this is my mechanical group. This here I have my riser, and then over here I have. This should be my glitchy stuff. So it's a combination. I think this is a combination of like my glitchy robotic stuff and some mechanical sounds. So that's this top group up here. And then as you can see here, they're not all aligned. So I always, so depending on what I'm creating, I'll have, for example, my riser might be at the beginning. So I'll move this down like this. And then I'll have my reload mechanical sounds. I usually like to have those at the end. And then the robotic glitchy stuff kind of in the middle, so then they're all not all together. So now if I play it, so this one I can see here, it's too long, so I might pitch it up a lot like this. There you go. So that's cool. This one here is a little long, so I might go like that. Right, and then I just created another really cool sound. I can add it to my snapshot down here, and now it's all set to go. So I wonder if I can get rid of this one. So I might not even need this one here, so I could maybe delete that, add it again. There you go. Now I have a really cool sci-fi sound. Again, I can do it again, randomize all the files here. Not very good. Let's try that again. All right, so it's kind of hit and miss. Let's move this over a little bit. Maybe I'll move these two guys over even more. Like this. All right, so that could be another one. Right, so as you can see here, like I'm just kind of going on the fly here. I'm not trying too hard or listening and trying to make things really nice. But you can see how quick and easy it is to just be able to move things around, randomize, get some new ideas. Again, like I said, shift the stuff around. And let's say you wanted the riser at the end, you could do that. Maybe you want this at the beginning. And then you can organize each group to whatever you want. And then you can get a whole bunch of cool sounds that way. And I organize them all into my snapshots here, and then I can just export them super quickly and super easily. And that's how I can create a whole bunch of these really cool sci-fi gun reload sound effects. All right, so that's everything for this video. I hope you liked it and found it useful and valuable. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And if you want to see more, I actually made a whole video about my process for creating a sci-fi gunshot sound effect from scratch. using your just a synth and some of your own plugins and effects and stuff like that. So if you're interested in seeing that, I'll put it in the cards above. And yeah, check it out if you're interested. And I think that's it for this video. Just a reminder to grab that free PDF, that free guide, my 5 layering techniques guide. Links will be in the description below. All right, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.